All right. So I am back today doing another podcast, actually live from my hotel room in St. Augustine. I just came here recently to shoot a wedding, and we have some downtime today because we just shot the religious wedding ceremony. So our night is kind of off to ourselves, which is really nice actually, because the next 2 days will be very jam-packed and we'll be super busy. So we can kind of have the night to rest, recharge, get ready for a busy 2 days. So I'm really actually very excited about this wedding for a variety of reasons. I love working with this couple. They're really creative and they have like such a vision when it comes to photo and video. Like I did their engagement shoot back in, I think, September of last year, and I went to New York City, where they are from or where they're living currently. And we did like a city inspired shoot, and it was just so much fun, like getting to know her vision of like what she really likes and kind of being able to like take that and run with it. That's one thing with photography that like I feel like styles are always changing. People are evolving in terms of like what the latest trends are and that kind of stuff. And you need to be adaptable and you need to be able to like adjust to whatever your clients are kind of into, because at the end of the day they are hiring you for your expertise, your work, but also they have an idea of what they want. And that's one thing I kind of definitely struggled with over the years, especially early on in my business, because I was so fixed and like my style is my style. And if they can, if they don't want to hire me because they don't like my style, then they don't need to. And I just remember being really stuck in my ego about that and almost just like being really more offended all the time if someone asked me to like do someone else's shots, because I'm like, you should be hiring them. You shouldn't be getting me and trying to get their style, which to some degree I still believe. I really do believe that like communicating with your clients and making sure that you are able to provide something that they will, enjoy looking back on, versus like just promising that you can do something and then it comes time and you just kind of don't really take their inspiration into like your mind, and then they're unhappy at the end of it because they didn't really get what they wanted. So for me, it's all about, crystal clear communication. It's, tell me what you're envisioning. Let's make this like a creative thing where you get your input. Because if I'm going in there and I'm just like, it's my way or the highway, you got to take what I do, then I'm just being really fixated on something that can be changing. And, the best thing is when we grow and we evolve. So by taking her, her inspiration shots, sitting down with them and kind of going over their vision, it really helped me kind of get outside of my comfort zone and experiment more with like doing some more motion, blurry shots, which is really trending right now, where it's like more in the moment, kind of more effortless, not as posed. Now, what you do need direction, you do need to know how to guide your couple and direct them to get the shots, but it's nice to kind of, see what they are thinking at the end of it and be able to like give that to them. And I just remember being like seeing all her inspo and that first being like, oh my God, am I going to be able to deliver? Because she just had such a specific vision that like I really enjoyed and I loved, but I was just like, had that moment of self-doubt of like, you know what, my style is a little bit different. I'm not used to doing those kind of more artsy creative shots, but it helped me really think differently and it helped me think outside of the box and it helped me try a different style where like I did the photos, I kind of edited them more to her liking, which is more like a muted film type of look, and they absolutely loved everything. So it was really nice to like, come full circle with that and start with like, being open about it and just kind of hearing what they want to do and like letting her come up with like a mood board, which was really helpful because she would like write little cute notes on what she really liked about the photos, which helps me kind of figure out, okay, she's really into like more a minimalist, just like kind of focused on the moments, very symmetrical, very like just that plus like the artsy, blurry stuff. So it's just like a whole different vision than what I'm used to. So it was nice to be able to run with that and do, something really creative for them. And I think it turned out really awesome because they're really happy with it. And I felt good being able to deliver that and like hear their words of like confirmation of you did what we wanted, and we are really happy that we're working with you. Because that's one thing that when people hire a photographer, you don't necessarily know what you're going to get, and you don't know how the day is going to be. You don't know what the moods are going to be like, but you always just have to try your best. And I'm really glad that I kind of pushed myself to go outside of my comfort zone, because I was able to do something a little bit more creative and outside the box, and, be able to provide such a great experience. And now here we are on their wedding weekend. And so, like we've been planning, we've been having different meetings, another mood board, another session to go over everything, plan the day, because it's at a beautiful venue at a museum in St. Augustine. And the place just looks like something you could see in like Spain. Like it's just beautiful architecture, so many locations inside and outside to shoot, which can kind of be overwhelming. And I won't lie when I say that I am a little bit nervous about how the next 2 days are going to go, because one thing I've noticed over the years is that it's it's tough to battle high expectations on wedding days when you have a lot going on. So that to me is kind of like, people would send me a lot of inspiration shots. And, for instance, I remember back in the day where I would get like all of these beautiful Pinterest worthy shots of like these beautiful ceremonies outdoors. And it's just natural lighting and amazing and beautiful. But then they would stick me in like a banquet hall room where it's dark and it doesn't look like that. And I'm just like, oh my God, like expectations versus reality, guys. Like, this is not going to look the same on any level. So just kind of that over the years, and that happens a lot. You have a lot of clients that sometimes they can have high expectations, and they can really be envisioning something that's like not what their wedding is. And it's important to, again, communicate. Communication is always key. So like I now know that when I see a lot of shots like that, to talk to them, to pretty much be like, hey, I noticed you picked a lot of these shots, and I want to kind of let you know that a lot of them are outdoors, and our timeline of what you picked is all indoors, so it's not going to quite look the same. And a lot of people just don't know. So by communicating that, you're doing your job to be like, I'm going to try my best to kind of get similar different angles, similar angles, but it may be a little bit different. Just I always tell people, keep an open mind, like have these inspiration shots, but also just let the day go as it does and try to enjoy it. And you'll love your pictures when you actually have a good time. So with this couple particularly, we definitely had a lot of meetings going over their vision, planning out their schedule for each day, making sure that like we don't use it's at the same location for both days. So we wanted to make sure that like we utilize the space as best as we can, but we're not like doing the same shots at the same locations because you have so much going on. So we made a really good game plan. Also, another backup plan in case it does rain, which right now I don't know if you can hear, but like it will randomly thunder because Florida is infamous for like random crazy thunderstorms when you least expect it. And that's one thing we do have to think about with their events the next 2 days is like we could be outside and it can start storming. So we need to be able to be close by and not like risk any type of situation like that. So I'm learning now to kind of channel my nervousness, any anxiety that I have into more excitement and more like just, oh my gosh, come back to like the gratefulness of like, wow, I get to shoot here. Wow, this couple flew me and my team down here to shoot their events. And how lucky am I to be able to do this for a living and be able to help to support my team and have them bring the vision alive and like have all these just different creatives come together. And to me, that like just really excites me to get all of us together. And when we are in the out, like when we're at work together, I go into full boss mode where like I'm directing, leading, I'm, helping manage the team, letting them know what I need. So it's been really fun. Like today was just a quick 1.5 hour ceremony, and photos after, and we had a really great time working with the couple. They're really thankful and grateful, and I can't wait to see how everything comes out. And it's just like really awesome to be able to do this. And I want to bring this to other people, and I want other, small business photographers to grow and get to this level where you're getting, you know, flown out to different cities, even around the world. Like that's such a huge thing. And that I remember just always dreaming of like, oh my God, I can't wait to like shoot outside of Atlanta, because one thing about like shooting in your hometown is you pretty much get to know the venues. You get creative with every, shoot that you get. But when you go to the same locations, it's just kind of like, oh, we're just going to the same park again. Okay. And it's tough because as creatives, we get inspired by what's around us. And I know with us being here, it's just been like a burst of like energy of like, oh my God, I want to shoot everything. I just am so stimulated by all this stuff around me. It's something new, it's different. Like it's gonna look amazing when I edit this stuff. And like that can just be so overwhelming. But I'm trying again to like channel that more into excitement, because this is a really exciting opportunity to be out here. I am actually also planning to go to Europe in, gosh, it's going to be like 2 months now, in September. So I'm excited to do my first international wedding. This is a dream to go to Italy and shoot a wedding out there, and then going out to Spain. I'm manifesting that I do another couple shoot out there, and just like sitting in this really amazing feeling of gratitude that like I started out as just, this kid in a parking lot talking to her friend about like, oh, if I started a company, what would I name it? And I want to do photography. I think I need to come up with a name, to like just coming with the name and the concept, and then just like, putting it out there, putting it on a Facebook, and then people are knowing, and now it's turning into something bigger. And like to see the evolution of where I started and where I'm going. Actually, recently I found my paperwork from when I first incorporated and became officially an LLC. And my 10-year anniversary is coming up on July 23rd. And it will be 10 years that I've been officially incorporated as a business. And I just have to sit and like admire that for a minute and give myself props that I was able to build this business up and turn it into what it is, and even channel that into some new concepts and new ideas I have in the works, and just a lot of fun things, and being able to do the education and teach other creatives, other photographers how to sustain, how to build their business, how to build their brand. Like to it's just it's a great thing. And I'm really grateful for like the opportunity to be doing this. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel today, is going to be mainly about, client communication, and, not being afraid to get out of your safe zone, and being open to, getting your clients' ideas and getting their feedback. And like, if you do a photo shoot, talking to them about it and being like, well, what do you think I could have worked on better? What feedback do you guys have? Because it's really good to know what you can work on, because we're not perfect. And I get clients all the time. Like recently, I had a client that loved their photos, but they're like, on the wedding, we want to have more candids. We want, more in the moment where we're like just really with each other, not as posy. So that helps me realize that like on their wedding day, not to pose them so much, maybe get a couple good poses so they have their shots, but then just let them be them. And it's good to get that feedback and not take things personally. That's one thing that I have really had to learn over the years, because I was queen of taking things personally. Like if anyone criticized my work, if they didn't like something, if they made me redo something because they didn't like the editing, I was mad about it. And I would just, gosh, I would be so pissy and like, well, how dare they not like my work? And you know what? It's like you look at these big companies like Apple and whatever, Samsung, that kind of stuff, and it's like they have clients or customers that are not happy with them. They have people that it's customer service. We're never going to make everyone so happy, but we can try our best. We can hear them out. We can be clear and communicate and, figure out in the beginning if it's a match or not, because I also have clients that reach out to me that like have a specific vision and it's nothing like what I can do. And it's to the point where I'm just like, I would rather be clear and upfront with you that like, hey, this is not really our style, like in terms of shooting and stuff, we're more on this side. Um, and it's important to communicate that and tell them that like, hey, maybe we're not a good match. And that's really hard to do because you want to take all the weddings, you want to get everything booked, but to me it's the worst thing to like book someone when I know it doesn't feel right, and when I know that like they have such a dramatically different vision that like I cannot match. And that's only happened like a handful of times, but usually I do try to like work with them, tell them like, be open. I'm gonna like look at your inspo. I'm gonna definitely try, like, especially like with this wedding. I'm really glad that I challenged myself to like go outside of my box and do something more different, because that style I really resonate with. I love that nostalgic like film, just brings you back to like a different time where it's just so classic and beautiful. And I think we were very much aligned with that, and that's why it worked. But say she had been like really into a super cheesy style, or like some clients just want their editing to be like way different than like anything I know I can do. And then for that reason, like one client comes to mind specifically where like I didn't know that the bride had a specific vision. And the groom side booked me and we did the shoot. I did the photos and I edited them. I sent them, and he messages me back and he's like, oh my God, my wife did not like anything. And, these are the photos we got on our engagement shoot with another photographer. And what I noticed from right away was that like everything was very washed out, no contrast, very bright, no definition in the face, just very bright and like ghostly looking. And I was just like, oh my God, this is not anything that I'm used to doing. And so it was a matter of me kind of tweaking with the settings and like trying to get it to match more. So what I ended up doing is like I edited my version for me. And then those are the shots that like if I did want to post or if I didn't want to put it on the website, I could use those. But then I did a whole nother set, which took more time, but a whole other set where it's like more of her style, just very washed out and no like no life in it. And I gave them to them, and I think they said that they were happy, but honestly, I think I probably just didn't hear back from them again. That's a little weird too, because people will do that to you. They'll, be on you about different things, and then like you finally give it to them, and then it's like, oh, nothing. Okay. And I've learned to take that as like, if you're not hearing from them, it's usually like they like it and they're not into like communicating anymore. So just letting it go and understanding that we cannot please everyone in the world. We can try our best, and that's what matters. So above everything, I want you guys to remember that like always do you, always, stick to what feels right for you, but be open to changing, be open to, getting feedback and getting some creative vision from your client and kind of using it as a tool for you guys to come together to kind of help elevate your work and challenge you in different ways and make you kind of get out of that comfort zone, because when you do that, you'll be so like amazed at what you can produce. Because I think we don't give ourselves enough credit. We tend to, you know, think very not highly of ourselves, and that's not good, because we want to really like have confidence. And I think for me, doing that engagement shoot with this couple specifically, when I was able to deliver the photos and they were happy, I was just like, wow, like I was able to take something that was like a little bit challenging in the beginning, not really what I was used to, but like I was open to it, try to be a little bit different and like get something, you know, that I'm not used to, and then deliver the photos. And then I felt good about the photos. Like I'm looking at it like, wow, I was able to do that shit. Like that's kind of nice. And to me, it was not so much about pleasing them as it was like, I could actually get that, and I could actually get that type of look. And that did help me more for other shoots. And it just is like, don't limit yourself and don't stay in the same place. Like elevate your work, try something different. Don't be afraid to like run with it. And so that will conclude today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, you know, I plan to keep doing this and helping you guys, because I'm getting good feedback that you are all really enjoying the podcast and getting to know more about how to become better photographers, better business people, entrepreneurs, and just growing. So love to be here, and see you on the next episode.